without any further ado, I'm going to invite my good homie Daz, who's just off screen here, to speedrun some Baldur's Gate 2. So let's get into it. Ba-da-da-da-dee-doo. Okay.
All right.
Skirt. Oh, I should update the game.
True.
I can do that for. Yeah, I can do that from up here.
Hi there, everybody. Alright, we'll just wait a minute for Bridge to get back, and then we'll be good to go. The game is already set to Baldur's Gate 2. Hopefully I'll figure that out eventually. You know, I'll just get us started. So, what we're playing is Baldur's Gate 2, Shadows of Am. It's the first game in the, second game in the Baldur's Gate series. There's also an expansion afterwards called Throne of Ball. It's one of, I think in my opinion, is one of the best classic RPGs of all time. And we're going to see very, very little of it, is the goal. So, we've already created a character to save us a little time on rolling. His name is Speedrun. He is one of the fastest men alive, and all he cares about is adventuring as fast as humanly possible. He's a male elf, he's a mage thief, so the classes we pick are actually very critical to the run. There's a lot of spells we're going to do, and there's a lot of thiefy things we're going to do. Our alignment is neutral good. That actually matters, and that people actually give us better prices at stores because they like us. Cool. And I rolled for these stats for about half an hour. You actually have to roll. I think I had to get an 87 on 5 d20s, which took quite some time.
So is that just like a good enough, or?
Yes, yeah. Okay. So you could get better stats. Some of them are critical that you get a minimum. Others are kind of nice to have.
Okay.
So like strength could be lower than 16. You can kind of cheat on that. You really want a dex of 19 to try to give you good odds at hitting people.
Okay.
Constitution, intelligence intelligence is useful for spells. Charisma needs to be 18 for a certain part of the run. And we have a wisdom of 3. Because wisdom doesn't matter. Nothing we do will be wise in any way, shape, or form. Other critical things, really the essential part is we put all of our stats into picking pockets. We will steal virtually anything that's not nailed down. And luckily people nail down very few things in their pockets.
Yeah, they haven't invented nails yet,
yeah,
so we're good.
So we're pretty good there. Then there's a whole bunch of spells we know. Really the critical ones you're going to be seeing a lot of are Magic Missile, do some damage. Invisibility, so people don't talk to us. We're going to be trying to be as antisocial as humanly possible. Mirror Image is useful to sort of absorb some hits for us in a few cases. Dire Charm, because we're going to need to maybe convince somebody to join us for a little bit. And Haste is absolutely essential because we need to go as fast as humanly possible. And Skull Trap is going to be a major damage spell for us later on. We're going to really just be using 2 different weapons throughout the whole game, which is a longsword, and we have single weapon style, which gives us a little extra bonus to armor class as we're fighting if we just have one weapon. So when we import the character, we still have to pick their appearance. We're just going to kind of stick with the default here. And then we can pick the voice. After looking over them, we decided to go with this voice for our fellow. He's a very charming, wonderful dude. And his name, as I said earlier, is Speedrun.
Yes.
He does exactly what you think he does. And so we play the game on core rules, so that's basically no changes. It's Advanced Dungeons & Dragons or D&D 2nd Edition. So it's a pretty close adherence to that game system. If you're used to D&D 5e, it's a little different, and I might explain some of the differences as we go along. But yeah, right when we hit Venture Forth is when we start.
I think just tab out real quick and just hit... We'll start the timer. It'll be like a couple seconds off, but so yeah, just click into the screen and then hit start.
Start.
Yeah.
All right.
And then tab back, and then hopefully there'll be a little timer up there that's actually starting.
Let's see.
If not, fuck it.
If not, you'll just have to trust us.
Maybe. Oh no, wait. I picked the wrong one. I fucking suck. Hang on. Hit
It's okay.
Hit reset.
Reset.
Or just stop.
Stop.
It's the bottom one. So hit start here. And then maybe a timer will show up on screen.
We'll see.
Yay!
Yay, we did it. Okay.
Beautiful.
Close enough. So we start off in a cage. Why we're there, we don't really know. But some dude was doing some weird magical experiments to us, and then our sister, who from the first game, as a brief explanation of the first game, you discover that you have part of the god of murder, an essence of his divine soul in your body, and everybody wants it, including this mage. So we come here, our sister has been kidnapped as well. There's some other party members from the first game over here in the cage. And the very first thing we're going to do is we're going to take our sister and say goodbye. Our goal is to have nobody in the party with us, so we get all the experience we possibly can. So we tell her to leave, we can split up, we can cover more ground, totally believable. And what we're going to do, first thing after that, is go invisible. Well, first thing we should do is save.
So this is like the 6-year-old kid playing Pokemon thing, where you just have your ones, like your Charizard is like a level 99, but you have like a level 1 Weedle. Like you just have one character and you level the hell out of their stats.
Exactly. Okay. We need all the experience we can get, because a lot of the fights are going to be very close, particularly in the middle part of the game where we actually have to fight people. So we want to make sure we're as high a level as we can get. So we run through this room, we're doing some exploring. Oh god, this guy's a genie, he wants to ask us some riddles. We're just going to say we literally do not have time for him, and he goes away.
He just explodes.
Yes. That was his one weakness, somebody not having time for him. We continue on through here. This seems like a nice place to go, we're not really sure why. We walk in here, there's a table over here, maybe we could steal some stuff. Hey look, a little rune thing, that seems important. Then the very first thing we do after that is, that was really tiring, now that I think about it, so we should just take a nap. We sleep for 8 hours, and then we immediately make ourselves invisible again. Get a little bit of haste, get going, so we're fast, and then we run off. So we stole some rune, we don't really know what it's for, and oh jeez, that was actually a really tiring trip to hallway. We should take another nap, and haste ourselves again.
You like sleeping.
Yeah, he's the two things he's into is adventuring as fast as possible and taking as many naps as possible.
Work hard, play hard.
Exactly. So from this table we take a little sword, it seems useful. There's this golem here. You know, we give him that stone we found earlier. He's a sewage golem, he's very nice, he does things for us. He's gonna go open a door for us, in fact. So we walk out here so we get aggro on some of these goblins first, so they don't end up in the sewage golem's way. We go invisible so they don't keep attacking us, and we get through here. Goblins only did a little bit of body blocking, which is good. People really like to body block in this game. Come on, little buddy. So he needs to open a door for us first to get through. Good. Keep doing what you're doing. Good job. Proud of you, buddy. So we sneak by this crazy looking thing here.
Oh god.
I think it's an Otyug. I don't even actually know how to say it. We stand behind this doorway so we're safe. We do a little quick save just in case things go wrong, and we shoot a skull trap out here. So what skull trap does is when enemies are near it, it does some damage to them. So we just need to make sure we got 3 goblin deaths, which looks good. So that killed all the goblins off screen. We take a couple walks through here, close the door behind us, and we're exploring a bit more. Now we take another nap. You know, it's really important to get your rest in. Oh no, I messed that up. Okay. Luckily, we also heavily abuse save scumming in this game. You can pretend it's the DM letting us have a little do-over to make sure we get things right.
Of course.
And there's the actual net. Now we do the mirror image, quick save, quick load. So one thing in the game is they actually do the whole 6-round timer thing. So, 6-second rounds. So if you're familiar with D&D 5e, so each round is supposed to be 6 seconds in the game world. They actually implement that in the game. Every action you do uses up a round, and that actually takes 6 seconds. But when you're out of combat, you can actually quick save and quick load after you do something to essentially immediately move to the next round. So that sort of lets us fast forward through stuff. So we see some people here who actually would want to talk to us, but we cannot have that. So we immediately kill her.
You just attack them on sight.
And we just keep going. And they actually usually aggro on us when we do that, but I guess they were not caring too much about their friend today. So we actually don't have to fight them. So we loot this in here. There's a portal key that's essential to us getting forward, and we also steal the scroll of monster summoning, which will be important a little bit later. Normally we'd have to dodge these dryads here, and they actually tell us that the trees cringe at the sight of us. But they actually just don't care today, so we're just gonna keep going.
Kinda cringe.
Yeah, a little cringe. So the game is heavily based on rolls, just like actual D&D. So there's just a chance kind of anything could happen, including different encounter tables. So sometimes there's a group of goblins there. If we're unlucky, we have to get past, but we're lucky today. This guy really wants to join our party, but we are just gonna say no, because that's essential. Then we want to memorize some new spells. So D&D 2nd edition, the way it works is basically you have a different number of spell slots per spell level, and you have to commit ahead of time what spells you want in each of those slots. So for my level 1 spell slots, we want them all to be magic missiles. And once you use them, you can't use them again until you take a rest, which is part of the reason we sleep so much. So we no longer need that mirror image spell, because what it did was basically absorb some hits from some traps for us. We're going to go all in on invisibility. We also don't need to do haste anymore, or skull trap. Actually, no, sorry. We need dire charm, and we do need haste. And we've no level 4 spells to learn yet. So we're going to take a little nap, again, and then we're going to do a little bit of rolling here. So we need to equip that sword we got earlier, and that amulet, which will give us some stat buffs and a weapon. And we need to summon some help for the room ahead. So let's see what we get.
Is this just like a random enemy?
Exactly, so it pulls from a random table of enemies. Oh, that's really good. Ooh. So we really, really want some kobolds. They're actually amazing. They do really good rolls, or ranged attacks, which are super useful for the fight. So we give everybody haste.
What's the worst one?
Dogs. You can get some dogs. The dogs are not helpful. So we go invisible. Actually, sorry. We quick save, quick load to reset the round, so we can just get the casting. We go invisible, and we go inside and get going. So there are these 4 cages that are summoning imps, basically, and we need to destroy the portal methods. Sorry, they're called methods. To destroy the portals that are summoning them. So we send our 2 kobold commando guys to take out this one, while we sneak around back for the back side of this cage fight. So when you're invisible and you enter combat and do damage, or stealth in general, you actually can get a crit multiplier, which greatly increases the amount of damage you do when you get that first hit out of stealth. So our goal, if it goes well, is to do a bunch of damage to it and hopefully take it out pretty quick. These guys are actually incredibly dangerous and have the ability to stun us and sort of just kind of ruin the whole run. Just like that. Hopefully that should actually be fine. They only stun us for a bit.
Oh, you're not dead.
They're not dead. Okay. We'll see how that works out. If not, Kobold Commandos are still going. They may solo the whole thing. Let's see. Kobold Commandos still going. We lost one of them. How much longer are we going to be stunned? Okay, it's time to save, scum. Sometimes that's just how the dice roll. It is D&D.
Just got knocked the fuck out.
Yeah, it's really bad when that happens. So speedrun's really a big fan of taking naps on the job, but not in combat. So let's try that again. Oh, that's way better. So we go invisible again, so we can hopefully one-hit this next one. Do a pretty good hit, that's fine. And then send the kobolds over there, attack the next one. Actually, they should finish that one off. And so every time you destroy one of the imps that gets summoned dies, basically, so the fight gets easier the more that die.
Okay.
So they're all dead, so this one should drop now, and fight's over. They're gone, and we'll never see those kobolds again, until some kobolds come to kill us later. We get invisible, we get hasty, and we're now actually good to leave this dungeon. There's a whole bunch of else stuff here. There's really cool loot you can get. There's multiple party members you can pick up. We will ignore all of it. None of it matters in the face of the speedrun. So we keep going our speed, invisible, so we avoid all this stuff. There's some sort of like faction war going on. Speedrun does not care about any of it. He just wants to go. He senses their adventure outside, and he's going to chase it.
I like to think that speedrun also speaks in third person.
Yes.
It's like, speedrun, go fast.
Speedrun, run. Speedrun, run fast. Speedrun, adventure.
Speedrun, no read.
Yes. So we leave. We're good. There's some informational exposition stuff. A crazy mage battle happens. We don't see any of it because he's not paying attention. Our sister, who was with us, got kidnapped. She found her own way out. We do this a bit until we can save, and everybody leaves. Eventually we can save. Now that we've saved, we want to make ourselves go fast again. So we are in the city of Athgalata, and what they do here is they actually have laws against casting magic in the middle of the city. Wizard police literally show up and they will arrest you. So we want to run away from the cops as fast as possible because they can't arrest you if they can't catch you. So we leave immediately. That was one portaling in before I ran away. So our first step is we have to go to the slums, and here some guy's going to accost us and is going to try to basically give us a proposition. He's going to say, hey, that wizard who kidnapped you and kidnapped your sister, if you give us a bunch of money, we'll tell you how to find him. So we agree to it because we really actually have no other option. We have to agree. So we do that. There's some exposition happening. There's some stuff with wizards going on. Speedrun doesn't care about any of it.
Speedrun accept these terms.
Yes. So first thing we're going to do is go to his friend upstairs, and we're going to start our career of crime. Our goal is going to be stealing many things. So our pickpocketing skill is 225, which I believe is the max. And the result of that is, as long as we steal things one at a time, we can actually steal anything. Nobody can ever stop us. We can take it right out of their pockets.
Fastest hand in the West.
Exactly. So what we're going to do is we're going to steal some oil of speed. This is essential to the run. It doubles your movement rate and gives you an extra attack per round. You literally just douse yourself in oil to be as fast as humanly possible. You can have up to 2 hasty things basically stacking at a time. So you can have the spell haste and also the potion haste. And then oh no, we said the wrong thing to him, but that's okay. Let's see where he takes us.
Wouldn't it be fun if that's how it worked in real life? Like if you oiled yourself, you had less wind friction while
That would be great, right? So we accidentally had him take us to the wrong place, but that's okay. We're still in the same district. We want to go to the inn. Oh, we really went to the wrong place. That's fine. Let's actually... Okay. It all comes out in the wash. So that we could have had that kid take us straight to the inn, but we said take him to this random corner of the city for no particular reason. Sometimes that's the way the adventuring cookie crumbles. So
how far away can you pan from the curve?
Pretty far. You can see most of a screen at a time. Okay. And so this game is very heavily party based. You can have up to 6 people in your party, including yourself. And it's really a core part of the game. There's so many interactions between the party members. Some of them will fall in love. Some of them will try to kill each other. Some of them will do either of those things to you. It's really interesting and has a really good part of the story and has tons of side quests. But again, we were doing none of it. So we will be invisible as we cross this inn. It's a traditional fantasy inn in that virtually everybody will attempt to aggressively give us a quest as we're going by, unless we're invisible. And as we said earlier, we're completely, incredibly antisocial. We want nothing to do with them. So there's this guy here, and it turns out he has something we need. So we're going to be invisible, and we're going to pop him.
Holy shit! What the fuck? That was uncalled for.
It turns out he's very high pressure. He's under, a lot of stress. So he just kind of popped.
That's not how you pickpocket, Daz!
This is a creative way of pickpocketing. Oh no, he's like so giblety I can't find his body.
Oh no!
Where's his actual stuff?
Oh my god.
We actually have to pop him again. So let's do a little bit of extra murder. Sorry, buddy.
I need a glass of water.
Okay, we'll pop him again. He has a scroll we need called Death Fog. We take a bunch of money off him because he was pretty wealthy. We check the time of day because it's actually going to matter in a little bit. So it's the middle of the day, so once we're done talking to this barkeeper, we'll want to take another nap in a bed. So we have a few things we need to buy from him. So we're going to be... Sorry, buy. Quote-unquote buy. We're going to be stealing Blade of Roses +3, the Army Scythe +1, he has some nice spells we're going to want later. So we're going to need to take a spell turning from him, spell sequencer, summon fiend, and simulacrum. Most of these we're actually not going to cast, we're just stealing them for their financial value. Let me just check real quick to make sure we had our shopping list right, because this is important for later. Summon fiend, death fog.
In case you want water.
Oh, perfect, thank you. Death Fong, we have our wand, we have our simulacrum, and secret... Oh, we don't have secret word. Oh no, we're gonna get that in a little bit. Spell sequencer, okay, we're good to go. So we stole everything we need, we're gonna need to take a little rest here. So we see what he has on tap, and what he has on tap is a bedroom. So it is now nighttime. So we're going to go invisible, and become fast. And we're gonna get to running.
I wouldn't dream of refusing.
So the next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna find a way to sell all of our stolen goods. Only certain NPCs will actually accept stolen goods. So we have to find a fence, essentially. Somebody who will deal in this illicitly gotten goods. So we're running down here, crossing the bridge district. It is appropriately distanced. We go down here, do a bit. We have to be actually very careful with our position here. There's some teenagers who are fighting over each other in a love affair. We want nothing to do with that. We get pulled into it even if we're invisible. So we talk to this cutpurse. And so this is a little bit of probably the slowest part of the run, in that we want to sell all of our stuff to him. And so a thing with the game is we're such a good pickpocket that we can actually steal something from somebody and sell it right back to them and they won't even notice. So we will do that. So we steal everything back and sell it to them over and over again. And we're going to need a certain amount of money to actually get through the rest of the game. So as mentioned earlier, there was that NPC who agreed he'd give us the information we need only if we have enough money to pay him. So we need to cross that threshold, and then we need to go a good bit higher too. So our goal is to get to 130,000. So that'll take a few sell cycles here. Oh, and also you have to make sure to only steal things one at a time, or you actually get caught. So we're gonna steal these things one at a time.
That's just like real life.
Just like real life. You do this over and over. So in this case, I'll talk maybe a little bit about, since it's a slow part, about what differences are if you're familiar with D&D 5e, and this is implementation of D&D 2nd Edition or Advanced Dungeons & Dragons. So it has something called the armor class system works a little differently. So in D&D 5e, your goal is your enemy has an armor class, and you need to roll a number on a d20 with some modifiers that is equal to or higher than that value, and if you do that, you hit them. Pretty straightforward. With this, armor class is actually... Your goal is to get your armor class as low as humanly possible. In fact, it can go negative all the way up to -10. And basically, the lower your armor class, the more resistant you are to being hit. And your goal, essentially, is you have a 2-hit armor class 0 score, or THACO, which just rolls right off the tongue. And you basically have to subtract their armor class from your THACO score, and then you need to roll higher than that. It's really weird, and I'm glad they changed it. It's a lot easier to understand how it is now, but there's a little bit of historical information for you.
There will be a test later, chat. So
yes, make sure you fully understand. We can go through some examples if the class needs it. Good. We're getting a good bit higher. We're getting closer to our the value we need. So we're gonna keep stealing, keep selling.
Does the oil that lets you steal stuff last the entire run, or?
So the oil actually isn't needed for stealing. It's just for making us very fast.
Okay.
But it does only last a certain amount of time. Okay. So we'll be covering ourselves in oil a lot in this run. We will be nice and smooth the whole way. Some more stealings. Okay, we're over 100k, so we're almost there. And there's probably a slightly more optimal way, people are still actually trying to optimize this run. It actually didn't have too much activity. This is the glitchless percent, quote-unquote glitchless. It depends if you count what I'm doing right now as a glitch, essentially. But yeah, so there's been some innovation lately, changes in exactly what you buy, what you do to actually get you over the barrier. We actually have enough money now, so we're going to sell some of this stuff. We want to keep the spell sequencer. That's actually going to be critical for later. So the things we need to steal back are we need to get some death fog. That'll be important for doing some bad things to people later. Improved haste. That's going to be very, very important way later in the run. We need some protection from magical weapons to make sure that we don't get in trouble with a certain enemy. Secret word that'll allow us to get past somebody who's gonna cast spell turning on themselves. Basically, they'll let them reflect spells. So secret word lets you break through their barrier. I think that's all the spells we need to grab. We need to grab a wand of fire, sell it back to them, and there's a little thing in the game that if you sell a wand to somebody, wands have a certain number of charges before they explode. You can't use them anymore. So you need to, if you steal it back from them, they actually popped out to the store and got it recharged for you. Well, they had it, so now we have full charges on this wand. And I'll just double check real quick to make sure we got everything we need. So from him we'll need the Wand of Fire, we need 3 Death Fogs, we need Improved Haste 2, we have Protection from Magical Weapons 1, Secret Word 1 of them, and a Spell Sequencer 1, and the Wand of Fire. So I think our shopping with him is all done.
So we are less than 20 minutes into the run. We can run faster than God. We're the greatest thief in the multiverse. And we've already broken the world economy.
Yes.
Okay.
We're now the richest individual in history, potentially. So this will actually be nice. This lady's a very nice lady. So we're actually just going to actually buy potions from her. We're not going to rob her blind.
That's nice.
So we buy some more oil to cover ourselves, and some more potions of invisibility that'll help us go invisible. So these will all be pretty essential to the run. While we're here, we also, before we do the next thing, we need to have a little kid talk to us. So we're going to need to take a nap. This kid will appear from nowhere, literally nowhere, and just like, hey, you have enough money now, you should come deal with us. And a lady who just appeared a little while ago actually said, okay, I'm from a group of vampires. We oppose the faction you're working with, you should come work with us instead. And you know what? She convinced us. We're going to go do it. But before we do it, we're going to go betray the faction that was helping us a little bit. So we're going to wait here till we can save, and we have to actually watch this kid leave before we can do so. And then we are going to level up. It's a good little time to do that. So throughout the run, our main focus is going to be putting points into set traps. Setting traps are going to be actually critical. It's going to be a main way we're going to deal damage to people. Speedrun is surprisingly patient and is willing to set traps to deal with his foes. Okay, so our next thing is we are going to need to haste ourselves up a little bit. We're going to reset time so the cops don't get us. And then we're going to go invisible. And we're going to get out of here. Why are we not going very fast? Oh, God, there's the cops. We need to go. Oh, God, the cops got us. Oh, God.
Not the police. Halt, citizen!
But luckily we can get out of there pretty fast. We're traveling through the streets and you can just get waylaid by random enemies. But we're invisible, so they just like show up like, oh, we know somebody's here. But they can't see us, so we're just going to keep going.
Must have been the wind.
Must have been the wind. So we're going to travel to the docks. We are not hasted for some strange reason. So let's get hasted real quick.
Of course.
And now we're slightly faster. And so we're going to betray the faction we were supposedly working with very briefly. Even though we're invisible, this guy just fucking clocks us. He knows we're there. But he's like, hey, come on in. You're supposed to be a friend of our boss, right? Come in. So, you know, he's totally making a good decision letting us in there right now. So there's this guy. His name is Renal Bloodscalp. He's important if you side with the Shadow Thieves, this faction. We are not siding with them. So what we're going to do is we're going to charm the pants off him. And by charming the pants, I mean actually charming the boots off him. We got it first try, the roll was in our favor, so we send him over there, and we're going to set ourselves up with a little thing called protection from magical weapons. So the reason we do this is because they basically, the devs, didn't want you to get the item that's on this guy that's incredibly powerful. So if you fight anybody in this room, a NPC will show up, and he will one-shot you. Yeah. He will kill you, 100%. He's the strongest enemy in the game, and he's just some dude. But his weapon is magical, so if you have protection from magical weapons, you actually cannot get hit by magical weapons for as long as the spell is active. So what we will do is we'll go over here, set ourselves up to our next to our new friend. We will have him attack his buddy. We will wait a second. The Destroyer, Arcanus Gath, will appear. We will go on the other side of our friend. He will one-shot that guy. And we will take everything of value he has. Particularly, the most important thing are his boots. These are the boots of speed. And they basically give you a permanent haste buff. So you basically can stack it with either the spell or the oil, and you go the maximum speed you can go. So we're going to be going pretty fast in a second. So we're a little bit in danger here, so we're going to quaff an invisibility potion, disappear. And then we're getting out of here.
I love, like, the game could have just said, like, you die if you do this, but they actually put the effort into creating, like, a god-tier character with all, like armor and weapons and gear that, like, they actually coded into the
Exactly.
game.
He's, like, legitimately in the game, and you can deal with him. He's just, it's very tricky to deal with him. So before we go join our vampire brethren, who have enticed us with their deals, we're going to go one last bit of shopping. We get waylaid again, the wind passes them, they don't know what's going on. And we're going to go to a place literally called Adventurer Mart. You know exactly what it's all about.
All the shopping needs any adventurer would want at a discount.
Exactly. This guy will actually dispel the invisibility on us, I think. Yep, they say don't even think about trying to steal something. And we actually don't even have the option to steal from him. He's you know, there's a guard literally staring at our hands the whole time. So we are just going to legitimately purchase some things from this man. What we're going to buy from him are, we need some potions, I believe he has.
This guy sells a lot of stuff.
They weren't kidding when they called it Adventurer Mart. So I think, yeah, he has a potion of invisibility, which we need. He has some more of our delicious oil that will make us as fast as we possibly can go. And then we need to buy a spell or two from him, I believe. Yeah, we need protection from magic. That's critical later. And then we need to buy a girdle from him. The Girdle of Hill Giant Strength will give us a base strength of 19.
That is expensive.
It's incredibly expensive, but luckily we are the wealthiest man in the world. So we're going to buy the girdle from him, and when we wear the girdle, we are now very strong. Almost as strong as you can get. So we bought the girdle from him, and just to double check to make sure we bought all the right things. So yeah, we oil of speed, potion viz, protection from magic, and the girdle of hill giant strength. We're good to go.
Greetings, good
And then
customer.
Deidre also has some things to buy us. We're going to buy Dakon's Zerth Blade +2. If you're one of the dozens of people who've played Planescape Torment, this is the weapon one of your party members, Dakon, has. He's a really cool dude. The Nameless One is the protagonist of Planescape Torment. What it does is it gives you extra 1 to your armor class, and really what that means is your armor class gets lower because the system is incredibly confusing. And you can also memorize an extra 1st, 2nd, 3rd, and 4th level wizard spell, which is actually very useful for us. So we're going to buy the Zerth Blade, and we're also going to buy the Robe of Vecna, where you get an armor class of 5, so that means you add 5 to your armor class, which really means it goes lower again. And then get some magic resistance, and the really important part of this is you get an improved casting speed. So that means during combat we'll be able to cast spells incredibly fast, which is very useful. So we're going to buy the Robe of Vecna from her as well. We're going to put those on, and we're now a Archmage. The sword we had, it literally doesn't matter, so we're going to throw it on the ground. And we are going to do one last bit. So there's this lady back here who the guards can't see. Oh, we actually got an achievement, Ancient Power, because we bought some cool stuff.
Is it important?
And so she calls us a peasant. I'm not a fan of that. Speedrun hates being called a peasant.
Yeah.
Because he's incredibly wealthy, also.
Yeah.
So we're gonna steal. We're gonna steal stuff from her, because she's mean.
Yeah.
So what we're gonna steal from her are, we need to get... We don't need Mirror Image, we don't need Agonar Scorcher, we need Clairvoyance. So we're actually going to be seeing into the future at several points in the run.
Okay.
So we have some spell scrolls that let us do that. And so the way scrolls work in this game is if you're able to cast the spell on the scroll, you're able to memorize the spell. And then you can use that and attach it in spell slots later. Or you can just use the spell as a one-time use thing. You just read the scroll and it disintegrates or something. So we're going to have a few of these to be one-time use and a few of them to memorize. So we got we don't need Limited Wish. So Wish is in the game, and it's actually incredibly cool because you basically get options you can wish for that are based on your wisdom. Obviously, Speedrun cannot use that very well.
Yeah.
So we're not going to bother with that. We need some Stone Skin. So what Stone Skin does is basically it puts layers of stone on your skin, and each layer absorbs a hit, which will be very important because we're actually still very squishy. And under-leveled essentially the whole time. We also need lower resistance. There'll be a dude later we need to make weaker and vulnerable to stuff. So from this, we got, to make sure we got the right stuff, we need to get Clairvoyance 3, Stone Skin 2, lower resistance 1, and Symbol Death, which does what you might be able to guess. We're going to do a little quick save. So one great thing about this game, because D&D 2nd Edition was brutal in many ways, is you can fail to actually memorize the spell with the spell scroll. So we're going to need to do some save scumming in case we're right. In case that happens. So make sure we save, and let's see if we can learn lower resistance. We successfully copied it to our spellbook. And we're going to try that again with Stone Skin. Successfully did that too. Awesome.
Something you need.
So let's see, we're going to get some stuff ready. So I think the first thing we're going to need is none of these at the moment, actually, so that's fine.
Yes.
Alright, so our shopping is done for the moment. We can make ourselves a little bit faster by drinking some potions, and we're going to make ourselves invisible. You notice we cast that invisibility instantly. It's incredibly useful to have that. So we're going to get out of here, we're going to run away, and now we're finally going to see the vampire who gave us this strange illicit deal to give her the money instead, and she will give us the information we need. Because she's a vampire, She only comes out at night, so we're gonna need to nap until nighttime.
Our favorite activities, sleeping.
We have a strange prophetic dream, but speedrun pays no attention to that. It's now nighttime, she'll appear, and we're just gonna agree to anything she says. Whatever she says, it doesn't even matter. Yeah, something, stealing something from the dogs. Okay.
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Allies are expensive in the city.
So that was chapter 2 of the game. Chapter 1 was when we agreed basically to the deal with the other guy before. So chapter 2 was our shopping thing. There's some more prophetic weird stuff happening, but we don't care about any of it. We have officially picked a side. We're just gonna level up here. Why not? We don't have any points. We have nothing to do here, so we're good for that level. And when I mentioned earlier, we're a mage thief, so there's a multi-class system and a dual-class system. We're multi-class, where basically you level up both classes separately. They have their own separate levels and kind of level up at their own rates, and you split the experience between them. So we'll alternate between leveling up as a mage and a thief. I think we'll take a nap here. We'll give ourselves some haste, and give ourselves some visibility.
We sleep faster with
yes.
these equipped.
So we go back to the docks, we get waylaid
Holy
again.
shit.
Yeah, there's just a bunch of, what are these, ogres? Orogs, whatever an Orog is. I imagine it's like an ogre. We go to the docks, we run around.
Yes.
We might actually need to be there at nighttime, so we may be taking some more naps.
Get another nap as a treat.
Exactly.
We've been doing a lot of
So run around, and we'll see if the guy's here. He might only be here at night. No, he's here during the day, with doing illicit dealings in the middle of the day on the docks. So we are going to steal some shipments from this guy. Let's see if we succeeded. We did. So these guys will murder us. Like, we are very squishy. So what we're going to do, instead of fighting them, is we're going to go invisible immediately and run away. The cops will show up in the middle of this illicit dealing, so I actually don't know how that would have panned out for them. So we're going to leave. Before we get involved. That guy can see us somehow, but doesn't care. Yeah. He's like, oh, you better not be around here anymore, you betrayed us, but just lets us go. So we travel back to the graveyard.
He doesn't get paid to care.
Exactly. He's like, I see you, and then just lets us go. Yeah. So we're gonna go back to our vampire friend who we stole some shipments for her, you know, helping screw over the shadow thieves. So we walk along, talk to her, and let's see, I am eager to do more evil things for you. We no longer have a moral code of any kind, because having a moral code is slow. So we need to do a bit of what she might refer to as cloak and dagger business. So we're going to do some sketchy things here. So first we're going to level up, increase some more points in our traps, and then I think we can just straight up get going. Let's go do some sketchy cloak and dagger business. Ethics arson, it's true. So we run around, head up here. Then we want to travel to the bridge district briefly. We want to get the hell out of here. This guy's going to try to talk to us, and we do not want that. So let's see if we can get out. No, he got us! Ah!
Lieutenant Talkfield got
Oh god. He's like, there's like a serial killer. We really wish we had some help with it, but sorry. We're not here for that. So we go to the government district, and there's a high-up government official who does some important things here. We're going to go invisible real quick so he can't see us. Head behind him, and... Sorry, buddy.
Oh no, is he gonna explode too? Oh god! His giblets!
And now we're gonna do... So basically our goal is we're trying to set up this guy to make it seem like he's part of the Shadow Thieves, he's part of this illicit organization. Okay. So the way we do that is he has a pool, and of course, when I said cloak and dagger business, I actually meant it literally. We're gonna put a cloak and a dagger in there to make it seem like he's involved in some illegal activities. We're gonna leave immediately. He is now framed. And is dead, so we can't say otherwise. And we're gonna go back to our boss.
It's my favorite animation in the whole game. It's just the chunks flying everywhere.
It's fantastic. Like the meat goes flying. Okay, so we talk to her again.
Your task is clear.
Oh, I actually messed that up, but that's okay. So luckily there's quick saves in the game. So you actually have to hang out in the building for a second. We're unfortunately going to have to watch this man get murdered again. So you actually have to hang out in the building until your journal updates. So we're going to hang out a bit. The guard doesn't care. The journal has now updated. He is officially dead. And we can now go back to our boss.
He needs to be legally reported as dead.
Yes.
Or it doesn't count.
We're running along, and here.
Just as I
Now we report him dead. Give us more instructions, and so now we basically need to wipe out the entire leadership of the organization we betrayed, the Shadow Thieves.
Onward then.
So we run out of the crypt because it's a spooky place where creepy things happen. We can't sleep there, possibly. We can sleep in the graveyard, though. So we're going to sleep in the graveyard, we're going to make ourselves invisible, we're going to make ourselves fast, and we're going to run and murder our dear friend who kind of forced us to talk to him earlier. So we go back to the slums. We need to be invisible here, because these guys try to draw us into some nonsense that you might get into in an adventure normally. But that is not our main adventure. We get behind our buddy here. He's actually a bit tougher than the other guys. He's unlikely to die in one hit, so we're going to have to do a little shenanigans with him. Almost died in one hit. We go invisible again, and every time you attack out of invisibility, you can get a crit if you do hit. So we just do that twice, and he's dead. So we steal a healing potion from him for a little security, another invisibility potion. He has a key, so the key will let us get into the Shadow Thieves' hideout. So he's now dead. We can now leave. We will go over here, run away. While we're here, we'll drink another invisibility potion. And now we're going back to the docks, and we're going to wipe out an entire organization's leadership. Because they're, you know, in our way, technically.
Yeah.
This guy who saw us earlier, he's just going to let us in. Everybody here will try to murder us if we're not invisible. So we're going to try to spend as much time in here invisible as possible. There's an invisible wall that we have to sit for a second until we actually detect it. We go through. There's another invisible wall here. We won't be able to go through quite yet, but we want to know about it ahead of time. Perfect. And so there's a bunch of keys we basically have to do. The Shadow Thieves are very tricky and fill the whole thing with traps and puzzles and all sorts of things like that. So we're going to steal a key off of this man.
What was theirs is now mine.
Pickpocket succeeded. We got his sword. That's okay. We can steal from him again.
What was theirs is now mine.
We have his key. Perfect. Just get rid of that sword. We don't need it. And then the first thing we're going to do after that is we're going to give ourselves protection from magic. So we're going to go invisible real quick, so he doesn't even know what happened. Hide up in this corner here, and then we're going to become protected from magic, aka become marbles on stream. We are a giant magical marble. We cannot be harmed by magic in any way, shape, or form, of a certain level at least. We cast Stone Skin on ourselves to absorb some hits. We become fast again with the Oil of Speed, dust ourselves in oil, and then we also give ourselves some invisibility again. We equip Death Fog for a little bit, so we're going to do some murdering later. So we're a very fast, very magical, invisible marble. We run through some traps here, making sure to avoid them where we can, go past these dudes who are trying to stop us. Run through. There's some crazy stuff here. They have a fake town set up. If you join the Shadow Thieves and you're a thief, you can actually sort of do thieving training and stuff here, and they have like an extra like thief hideout where you can join. Like there's a whole hideout system based on your class where you get different kinds of bases. It's really cool. You can get like a paladin sanctum or a magical place in another dimension if you're a mage, but we don't do any of that. We click a button, we heard a door open off in the distance, so we run through here, we did a little quick save, just in case. So there's some orcs here. They can get in our way. They don't. Actually, this will be fun. Ah, no, that one doesn't explode. That's okay. So we run through here, open some doors. So our goal basically is to get another key so we can go deeper into the base. We do some of this, do some of this. Let us save, cool. Actually, I need a different spell equipped here first. So there's a guy who has a key we need, and we need him to die. He's a little bit of a challenging mage battle, so we hope for a good roll here with Symbol Death. He talks to us, we one-shot him, nice. So we steal his key, and we leave. Continuing the murder spree, we become invisible. We do a little quick, cheeky level up, we're good, and we keep going. So we can now have the final key we need to get all the way through this dungeon. We want to run back to this invisible door we found earlier. Let's see if we set off a cool thing. Nope. Oh, we did. Let's see if I can actually get this for the run. So there's a trap that got set off that's actually shooting a ball of magic at us that will set off a huge, massive AoE that'll kill everything.
Okay.
We're protected from magic, so we're going to be fine, because we're a marble.
Yeah.
But there's some orcs in the way. And...
So this thing chasing you the whole time? The magic ball?
Yes, and once it hits you, it'll shoot off and make a big AoE.
Hey.
It'll kill the orcs and let us run through. So sometimes that doesn't work, so that I'm really glad that happened. So we run past them, do some stuff. There's an air elemental. They're really prepared for bad people to show up and kill them, but not prepared enough, unfortunately. So we're getting Death Fog from earlier, and what Death Fog does is it creates a Death Fog, pretty much exactly as you'd expect. So the main we need to kill is filled in here, so we have Stone Skin to protect us from melee attacks, and protection from magic to protect us from magical attacks, so we can kind of just hang in the corner and keep giving them Death Fogs, until the guy we care about is dead. And each Death Fog stacks with each other to do even more damage, so we have 3 of them going. So they should melt pretty soon here. Good, he's dead. So we take his amulet, we take his ring, we take his invisibility potion, a healing potion, a wooden stake that could be useful for killing a vampire. That will be important later, as you know, there might be some vampire murdering involved. So we have everything we need from this man. So we will put it, stop in the middle of combat, equip this amulet. Stub a little potion thing there. We don't need these keys anymore, so we can get rid of those. We have a wooden stake, we have a wand, we have everything we need. So we're good to go. We're actually done with this chapter. We just need to go back to our boss and say, hey, we committed some murder for you.
We did the thing that we're good at.
Yes. We have 2 haste buffs, so we're going maximum speed. Marbling our way through here.
Just as I thought.
And it's like we're richer than God, so we're just doing this for fun.
Oh,
like,
yeah,
we don't even need the money. We're just like, I'm just murdering for the joy of it, I guess.
She's just like, hey, you want to murder some people for me? We're like, yeah, sure. Yeah, sure.
It's fast. I'll do it.
As long as I can kill them fast. Okay, so we go back for her. We tell her we did the deed. So there's a little bit of dialogue tree here. We have to go through, get on with it, blah, 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 blah. Give her the 1. The secret is you just won her to death. There's a little cutscene here. Weird stuff is happening with an evil wizard. That doesn't matter.
Okay.
We're back at the docks. Yes. Yep. Give us a road. Blah, 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 blah. And we're going to be taking a ship to go find the place where our sister is being held. We've learned she's being held in an essentially an insane asylum for wizards. So that's why she was arrested by the wizard police earlier, and that's where they send you. So we got our ship ride there, so we're good to go. So we're in a new place on an island, so we don't know where we are.
Well, we're in Azkaban.
Basically, yes.
Yeah.
Literally Azkaban. So we're a little lost, so we're going to see into the future, so we know where to go. And what that does is it reveals the entire map, which is very useful. So we're going to level up, add some more points to our set traps.
A well-balanced character.
Yes, completely. Get haste, get invisibility, and we're gonna run. So this is Brynlaw. It's a port full of pirates and ne'er-do-wells and all sorts of not-so-nice people. And normally you have to do a convoluted thing where you have to get a bunch of information out of people to figure out where you need to go and how to get into the asylum, but we're gonna skip that entirely. So this guy has a couple things we need. He has a disintegrate spell that will let us disintegrate somebody later, and then he has spell deflection, which is a critical spell for keeping us alive in mage battle, where basically it literally deflects spells back that get hit that hit us. It's very useful to have. So we are going to go invisible again to make sure nobody talks to us, and then run through here. Talk to this guy here. We want to get an appointment with the Pirate Lord, essentially, so we can figure our way into the asylum. Actually, let me make sure I memorize the right spells. That's critical. So memorize another magic missile. Memorize some more invisibility. So this means we'll be able to cast invisibility up to 4 times before we have to take a nap. We no longer need Dire Charm. We only need Skull Trap. That's going to be the most important thing for us. And then we also learn some casts of Stone Skin, so we can cast it on ourselves. We can also learn a lower resistance, why not? And our spells are set up. So, we need to convince this guy to let us into the asylum. And so, as I mentioned earlier, we have a fragment of the god of murder, his soul inside of us. It gives us strange, terrible dreams, all sorts of stuff like that. So we literally just tell this guy that. We tell this guy the actual truth. So I must be sent to Spellhold. I cannot be allowed to run loose. I need to be admitted. I need help. I need to be confined. Because I must be confined. I can feel myself losing my grip on reality. I have delusions. I dream of godhood, that my father was a deity. I feel as though I'm a fight for myself, like I must battle my own thoughts. I am lost within it. I am the child of a god, and I will destroy you all. And that is exactly what I want, and that is actually 100% the truth. So we get sent in there, and he actually says, if you were less charismatic, I would not have believed you. So that's why if you need 18 charisma to be able to do that. If you have 17 or less, you actually can't talk your way in. So you charismatically told him the truth. We're now in an asylum. We're stuck here. The warden is named Locke the Sane. You know exactly what he's about. He's sane. That's why he's running the asylum.
Yeah.
So da-da-da, da-da.
I mean, considering everything our character has done today, we actually should be admitted to an asylum.
It's 100% true. 100% true. And actually, there's a few other ways to get in there. Oh, hey, Tuka. So you can actually get in here, too, if you have certain party members with you. In the Enhanced Edition, one of the party members you can get is literally a grizzly bear. Just straight up a grizzly bear. So if you have a grizzly bear with you, you can be like, hey, you should let me in the insane asylum. I have a grizzly bear.
I have a bear.
and he's like, okay, you're going in.
Fortunate you arrived when you did.
So there's a few ways to get through everything, which is really cool. So the evil wizard was here the whole time. He's like, aha, you fell in my trap. We weren't even where we were falling into a trap. We actually have to watch this whole thing. We have no choice because we're stuck in here. So he does some evil wizardy stuff, and we're just gonna chill for a bit and enjoy it. He's absorbing a bunch of people's souls to power stuff to basically construct a plan to restore his immortality using the divine sliver of the god of murder who's in our soul.
Of course. Yeah.
He sends us to a different dimension that's inside our body. We're in space. It's actually modeled after the castle you start the game in Baldur's Gate 1 called Candlekeep, which I think features in some D&D 5e adventures as well. So this is where we will start setting traps. So setting traps, basically the way it works is you can set up to 7 traps in total and have them all ready. And you can actually set some traps. You can only set so many at once. So we'll set a trap. We actually have a chance to fail because our skill isn't over 100 yet. So we're going to do some save scumming. Good. We set the 2 we have. We can't actually rest, so we have 2 traps set. And then we move over a little bit here and we set up Skull Trap. And the way Skull Trap works is you basically set out a skull, and if anything goes near, including you, if you go near, it will explode and do massive amounts of damage. I need to actually be selecting you. So we can stack up to 4 of them here at once, because that's how many casts we have. And now we have a foe here.
And he's here to do some business with the big iron on his hip.
Did a bunch of damage.
Big iron on his hip.
So our goal is we have to get him very low. He gets hit by so the way the snare works basically is it seems like it's a bear trap.
Yeah.
It's actually...
Did you turn invisible? Oh, Fog of War. Never mind.
Oh, he actually did. He avoided. You can't avoid the trap. That's not an option.
That's illegal. Can you run around? He talks to you.
Okay, he needed to talk to us first and then get hit.
Oh.
So the trap actually shoots arrows at you when you get close to it.
Okay, yeah, like most bear traps.
Like most bear traps.
Yeah.
So he's very low, and we do actually have to talk to him. So, as you might remember from earlier, we have a wisdom of 3. We are not a wise individual, and we are actually, to get in here, we speak to this demon, and the only way through is you actually have to give up a stat point in one of your stats. Our wisdom is already so low it doesn't matter otherwise, so we're going to give even more. We now have a wisdom of 2. Actually, we should in a second. We now have a wisdom of 2. We are the least, about as low wise as you could go. So we let this guy get near us, we walk inside, he should follow us inside to keep trying to murder us. We bring her to, there's a ghost version of our sister here for some reason. She needs to see him, and she has the magical ability to stop him for some reason. And then we're good, she's gonna scream, I apologize for the screaming. And then we're going to blah 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 mage. There's that vampire lady from earlier who could have foreseen she'd betray us. And so this asylum, for some reason, has a dungeon under it. And the dungeon is designed to test your sanity, and if you pass the dungeon, you get to leave.
Okay.
So they're throwing us in this dungeon, assuming we are not sane.
Oh, yeah.
And, you know, figure we will not be able to escape. So we found our sister. Here she is.
Nice.
And our whole goal of the whole game is to save her, right?
Yeah.
That's not speedrun's goal.
Onward.
Yeah.
So we will go invisible.
Are you alright?
No, she saw us!
I was so scared. I came all this way.
Hey, what are you doing?
Sometimes she can see us anyways. So what we'll actually say is actually, unfortunately, maybe even more savage. Instead of just leaving her, we tell her we're going to leave her. So because of group balance, I have no room. There's no room for her in the party.
Yeah.
There are 5 slots open in the party, but there's no room.
Yeah,
I'm
there's just
sorry.
no way to fit.
So she's gone. We aren't going to help her. We're just going to abandon her. Because we are a loving brother. We cover ourselves in some oil. We are fast again. We level up real quick. Get some more points and set traps, so we're now very good to set traps. Our traps will be
I
amazing.
wouldn't dream of
And we're fast and invisible, and we're good to go.
Oh, yes.
So what's coming up is actually maybe the hardest fight in the entire game for us. In that we have to actually kill a good group of people, and we can't really scum it too much. Like, we actually have to do it relatively legit. So there's a whole bunch of kobolds, and everything here has to die. Literally everything. And we're going to keep going. Gonna hide in the corner here, maybe get a little quick save in. And we're going to use that Wand of Fire from earlier. And what the Wand of Fire lets us do is it can switch between two different spells. Fireball and Agonazar's Scorcher. They're both very useful for what we're about to do. So we're going to just launch a little grenade into the room. So we shoot a fireball out, it does a tremendous amount of damage, and then maybe we'll switch to Agonar's Scorcher here. Agonar's Scorcher is actually an incredibly good spell. Basically what it does is it will shoot a beam of fire, and anybody who's in the way will also take fire damage. So we can do a good amount of murdering here with some fire beams. Let's get you with another one. So one tricky bit is we do still actually have to obey the round timer because we're in combat, so we have to wait 6 seconds before we cast something else. We cast a stone skin to protect ourselves. Then we put on invisibility. In a second. We're invisible, and that should hopefully let us, if we're lucky, get some good crits on these guys. They're actually immune to fire, sadly, so we have to actually melee them and do kind of legitimate combat. Except for the whole going invisible in the middle of combat thing. We're going to do some meleeing here. Hopefully we get a good crit. Nice. Another invisibility. Get behind them. Do some murder. Awesome. We're actually getting really, really good rolls. This is kind of rare. So let's see. We're going to try to magic missile this dude. It missed. No, he has magic resistance. Let's try that again.
Beamall, thanks for the 2 hectic years.
Hey, Beamall, hey. Oh, what's going on? Wow, okay. So we're just gonna melee this guy. And we can watch riveting Baldur's Gate 2 combat.
Oh yes, let's get some popcorn.
Eventually,
The
we will
choreography is insane.
Yes.
I can't handle how lifelike this is.
high resolution combat. Blows was a Hogwarts Legacy out of the water, 100%. Look at this. Look at this dynamic battle.
Oh my God,
okay, he's dead. So we will stone skin ourselves real quick, and so we have to make sure everybody is dead. Okay, good. Everybody's dead, so that'll actually summon some more kobolds. So we have to kill this second wave of kobolds now. Luckily, we have magical fire beams that do ridiculous amounts of damage. These guys, if you actually let them build up some buffs, are a little dangerous, so we luckily can kill them pretty quick. This guy yees at us, if you heard that sound effect right. He calls himself a kobold, but he looks a lot like a dude. I think his name may literally just be Kobold. He just likes to hang out with them. Come back here, you! You're gonna get away! Alright, so if we killed them all, this should explode, and we now have... Curdlemax Crystal Shard. We have no way of knowing this, but this is actually going to be critically important later. And we're a little damaged, so we're just going to take a nap. Only 8 hours, so the game, based on how damaged you are, you actually sleep a different amount of time. So we may see some long naps later on. We cover ourselves in oil real quick to make ourselves fast. We're invisible, so we don't have to fight anybody else. This is really strange to click on for some reason. So sometimes, they do randomly roll for deciding what encounters are where exactly. So there's a chance there could be a dude who could see us there, which would be a problem, but he's not there.
So what's the longest amount of time you've ever slept with your character in one shot?
It was about 2 weeks.
2 weeks straight sleeping.
So it's basically very low on health, and I have no healing spells, so he can actually you sleep until you're healed, and it took 2 weeks to actually heal up.
I think that's a coma, but
yeah, that's probably a problem if you're sleeping for 2 weeks. So what we're gonna do here is we're gonna set some traps, and we now have a guaranteed chance to set traps, so we're all set there. So we're gonna take some naps in between, so we can set some more. So we can set a max of 7. We now have 7. We're good to go there. We open the door. We're gonna see this dude before he says anything to us. He's so fast. But first thing we do to him, we didn't even get the magic missile. The traps killed him. He's a vampire, so we're gonna stake him in here to make sure he's dead. Our stakes from earlier were useful. High stakes. And then we're going to... We're actually good to go there. So we need to get fast. So we're going to cover ourselves in oil, and we need to get invisible. And we're going to run back the way we came. So we now have his hand, and we have a crystal to basically let us slip by here. Oh no! Okay. Sometimes they body block us there, based, it's a random roll. So we're going to keep running, take a different path. Run up here, run up through here. Yeah, since I see a few mentions in the chat, if it doesn't know it, I am Dazalicious, Daz. Good to see you all on camera. Run past here, click on some stuff. This will open for us because we have that crystal in that hand. We go through here, beat the puzzle, walk down some stairs.
Yes.
So now we're gonna have to do some Minotaur business, and by that I mean there's some Minotaurs and we need to steal some horns. So we slip by the Minotaurs here, go through invisible so they can't see us. Close the door behind us. In this pool of water, there is just a giant Minotaur horn for some reason. We'll go invisible, go back through here, open this door, walk down the hallway, and there's some trolls in the way. So we actually need to attack the troll, so we aggro him, pull him out of the way, go invisible, run past him, and then we will encounter that vampire lady who betrayed us earlier. So we're going to try to get a good hit off her, but you'll see in a second why it doesn't really matter too much.
Just we're using the stake.
No, we actually staked a vampire a little while ago.
Oh, okay.
So we set up a trap to kill a guy, and as soon as we killed him, he had a crypt. So we staked him and we got his hand. Which then, with a hand and the crystal, it lets us open up a giant stone head, because that makes perfect sense.
Yeah.
And now we're on the second level of this dungeon.
Okay.
So because our soul was stolen for that evil wizard as part of his evil wizard plot, things have started going a little strange with us, and a bit of pretty much all that's left in us is that sliver of the god of murder. And the god of murder has a particular form he likes to take in his avatar, and that form is called the Slayer. So you turn into this ridiculous, huge rage demon monster, and you fight her very quickly. She runs away in terror. And we just need to wait till we stop raging.
It's fucking gnarly looking.
Yeah, it's freaky. We'll see a little bit of it again later. So we did that. We actually want to take another nap to heal up. We turn into the Slayer again real quick. If you had party members, you'd actually have to have them run away from you because you'd berserk and try to kill them.
Yeah.
But as you say, with no comrades to see your distress, things will just pass quickly. We got an achievement for becoming a god. We now will take an actual nap. We will take another actual nap again. We keep not being able to sleep. I need to actually set the option to sleep until we get fully healed. Rest until healed. There we go. That's why we weren't getting actual naps in.
I was like, I wouldn't be able to sleep after.
There we go. We slept for 4 days and 16 hours. And we're now fully healed. So we're invisible. We're good. We're fast. We're gonna cover ourselves in oil as we do. First thing you do when you wake up in the day. And then we're going to run into here and find one last Minotaur horn, which is hiding in this jar over here. So we take that, we drink invisibility oil so they can't see us here, and we stick the Minotaur horns, and that will open up a door. Okay, so this bit is a little bit of another challenging fight. It is yet again kobolds. Kobolds are incredibly deadly. As you should know. So we will just start beaming them and shooting our rays of fire at them to make sure they die. Actually, before we do that, we'll level up really quick. Increases our damage a little bit. And in a second, we should do some beaming. We might actually switch to using Fireball here, because we'll do some AoE damage. We can actually die in this part. They can actually kill us. They're very dangerous. There we go, they're dead. So now we switch to... Oh, Paint Chip, hey! And then we will shoot this guy with the little fire laser. Good. See, our health is actually a little low here, so we, just in case, we're gonna drink a health potion that we looted off somebody's body earlier. We have to wait for the round to pass. Good. Just choke it down. Let's see, we'll switch back to Fireball, I think. So there's a few dudes who are a little hard to target, so we shoot a Fireball over here to make sure we hit him. A little bit of damage.
That's a large AoE.
It is. It can kill you, too, if you're too close to it. So you have to be very careful with it. Killed one up there. That should be all of them. Alright, so... I actually need to... So that Disintegrate spell we got earlier is important here. This is another challenging fight against a spore colony. What it'll do is it'll summon a bunch of myconids, like a bunch of mushroom people. And we really don't want that. So we're going to attempt to Disintegrate them and hope we get a good roll. We did not get a good roll. Let's try that again. You don't want to actually do that fight. Luckily, we have a very permissive DM that lets us have do-overs. The DM is complicit in what's going on here. So we hit him with Disintegrate. He gets disintegrated. And we start getting some riddles. So the riddles are intended to test our sanity. So if you'd be up for some riddling.
Okay.
All right. So
let's do some riddles.
So the question is, 'twas in the wood that I got it. So I sat me down to seek it. I could not find it, no matter how hard how I looked, and so I took it home with me. What is it? And your options are a willow, a wood nymph, the earth, a splinter, a hawk, or the sun.
I would guess a splinter. Okay.
You're right.
This is a critical component of any speedrun, is the Ask the Audience segment.
Yes.
So I didn't realize that I was going to be answering riddles, but I'm down.
All right. So we have 4 more riddles to go to test our sanity.
Okay, here we go.
So it is better than the best of things and worse than the worst of things. You love it more than life. You fear it more than death. The rich have need of it, and the poor have it in endless supply. So it could be life, good intentions, nothing, breath, gold, faith, respect, or something.
Is it... The rich have need of it? Oh, nothing.
Nothing, exactly. And the poor have it in endless supply.
Okay.
Good. We're doing great. All right. It runs as it will, but never does it walk. There's a mouth to see, but never does it talk. A bed it surely owns, but never does it sleep. Possesses it a head, but not a one that weeps. So it could be slime, health, respect, the sky, the gods, a river, children, or old age.
I think it's a river?
It's a river.
Okay.
Alright, I make you weak at the worst of all times, but in the end, I keep you safe. You'll sweat in my presence, even as you grow cold. I dwell with the weak, rarely the brave, but without me, who could tell the difference? Faith, goodwill, respect,
Milk?
plague, doubt, fear, and wealth.
I dwell with the weak, but rarely the brave. Without me, who could tell the difference? Is it fear?
It's fear.
Okay. I'm a riddle master.
Alright, this should be the last one. It brings back the lost as though never gone. Shines laughter or tears with light long since shone. That doesn't really rhyme with gone. A moment to make, a lifetime to shed, valued when, but lost when you're dead. Pictures, respect, memory, greed, health, love, honor, or responsibility.
It brings back the lost as though never gone. Shines laughter or tears with light long since shone. Shines laughter or tears. A moment to make, A lifetime to shed, a moment to make. A lifetime to shed, a moment to make.
Valued when, but lost when you're dead.
Chat, help me out. Does anybody know the answer? Well, no, without actually knowing the answer. Like, type it if you're smart, not if you looked it up.
Yes.
It's gotta be like, Jess, welcome on in.
Hey,
it's gotta be like respect or honor, but or love.
So let's see.
It brings back the lost as though never gone. Never shine. Dude, I got this one's fucking me.
So would you like me to go with the chat answer?
Chat said memory? Okay,
yep,
memory.
Chat says memory. It's memory.
Okay, let's go. Let's go, Karanjo.
We did it together.
Big brain.
Hey, Jess. In case you haven't noticed, Jess, I'm Daz. I'm on camera. I'm a real person. I'm not a chatbot.
Yes. I constructed him with ChatGPT.
Yes, I'm run by ChatGPT. It's true. But all right. So we solved the stuff. We proved we are sane. Everybody, we are real. We're sane.
Let's go.
So we start setting some traps immediately.
Yeah.
Because you never know what's gonna come ahead of you.
Something a chatbot would say.
So let's see. This could probably be a good place for this. So we start getting ready for a little bit of combat that might be coming up. We take another nap. We slept for 2 days and 8 hours this time. Just not too long. We set some more traps. We set some more skull traps just in case. We take one more nap. We set one more trap. Let's get some more skull traps out there because it's useful. And then we want our little wand. It's a good thing to have in case we need to kill some people, which we're going to have to do. So we will cover ourselves in some fine oil so we're incredibly fast. We aggro these trolls over here to make sure they come and try to kill us.
Don't you hate it when you go to bed on Friday and you wake up to work Monday morning? Like after sleeping, it's like, oh fuck.
So we need to make sure these trolls die. Come on, you die! Damn it! If you don't kill them with fire, they can actually regenerate, so they're dead. And then we've passed the test, which was a test of if you can kill some trolls, I guess. And we keep going. All right, we have proven to the dungeon that we are in fact sane. We are allowed to leave. So we do so. Some dude, the guy who drove our ship earlier, is like, I'm sorry I betrayed you, I did it for money, and we understand that because we do everything for money.
Yeah, cool.
So we need to run through here. We're now back in the dungeon where the evil wizard was keeping us captive. We're gonna stop here real quick we're just really suspicious about this wall and think there might be something behind it.
Yeah.
We're not really sure why,
yeah,
but it just feels like there's something behind it.
Right.
So we're gonna detect there's an invisible wall there and then come back later.
Okay.
Head upstairs, go up this. We need to do a little prep. So we want to fight that evil wizard. And it's very difficult because he's an incredibly powerful wizard, much more powerful than us. So what we're going to do is we're going to put some spell turning on ourselves. Spell deflection. So if somebody casts a spell on us, we will bounce it right back at them. And then we also get, we'll get this one ready because that's useful to have. And then we are also going to stone skin ourselves to absorb some hits. And then we're going to walk out here. So the warden is like, what are you doing here? You should be in your cell. What's going on? And we're just like, yeah, that's fine. Don't worry about it. How about I just give you 2,000 gold? And he's like, you know what? Yeah, sure.
Yeah.
And then we release all of the inmates in the asylum. They're all wizards, so they're going to be very useful here. And we're just like, hey, let's take down that evil wizard. We're going to do it together. Totally nothing bad will happen to you. 100%. You should trust me. So that's what they do. They trust us. We go in. The evil wizard is just like, what the hell is going on? We all teleport inside. He's like, what are you doing? Well, this is insane. You're ridiculous. He's going to kill us all. So we really quick hit him with magic missile. We actually want a different spell equipped here in a second. And then we run up to him, see if we can get a nice little cheeky backstab on him. Good. Did a little bit of damage. So the way he fights you is he summons a clone of you that will distract and start hurting you. So we want to run away. He puts spell turning on himself. So he gives himself an ability to bounce all the spells back. And some of these mages, if they will shoot spells at him, that will bounce back and hit them, and then that causes them to aggro on us for some reason.
Oh.
So that's really bad. So we want to hit him with spell turning. Secret word to basically, we say the secret word to slip through his defenses.
Oh.
So yeah, he's protected by spell turning, so we secret word him. We got through. Whenev, our arch nemesis, casts a spell called Time Stop, which causes everything to stop while he spends like 5 minutes casting spells that aren't really doing much of anything. So we're just gonna wait. Okay, now we can actually do stuff again.
It was the Time Wizard.
Literally the Time Wizard. That's a great point. So let's get to hurting this dude. So his barriers are down. We have some barriers up to protect ourselves. He's gonna try to cloud kill. That will kill everybody within range, but we're safe. We're doing some damage to him. Let's see if we can hit him with a magic missile or two to make sure he dies. Almost all the people we released are dead now.
Yeah.
But we didn't really make them any real promises, so it's fine.
Yeah.
We just keep hitting him. Hopefully, yep, he says, "Damn you all, I'm gonna run away because I'm a villain." That's what they do. So we're going to drink a little invisibility potion. So we're safe. So we summoned some assassins to kill us, but we're invisible and fast, so they won't catch us. So we need to go back up here, and this guy has a key hiding in a room for us, basically, to unlock that hidden door we found earlier. We are critically invisible because this dude here would try to talk to us, and we just can't have that. So we keep going, continue our anti-socialness, slip by here, walk past him, go through this golem, and inside this chest we find the key that we need. The golem would try to kill us if we were visible, but luckily we are not. We make ourselves invisible again and run back. Go through the door, do a little quick save just in case stuff goes wrong. So there are invisible assassins that are going to be trying to murder me and actually actively body block me. So there's like somebody invisible right now body blocking me. But luckily we don't really care too much. So we'll run past them, go through this portal if they're kind to us.
Is there someone standing in the portal?
I think that's partially what's happening. It's very temperamental. So we want to eventually. We do have the key, hopefully, so we'll let us go through here. It's very tricky. Walking through a portal is notoriously difficult. There we go. All right, some stuff is happening, but we don't care. And we are now in the Underdark. It's actually my favorite part of the entire game. It's this really cool whole huge area full of crazy monsters, mind flayers. You can get abducted and end up in like gladiator pits, all sorts of stuff. We see none of it.
Yeah.
We involve ourselves in as little as humanly possible. So we are again going to cast clairvoyance so we can see into the future. We know exactly where everything is. So we go up here and there's some deep gnomes who are like gnomes but deep.
Yes.
And we will run past everybody. There's some crazy stuff. There's some giant mushrooms. There's all sorts of things. Sometimes they can still see us on the bridge. Yeah, it's fine. So basically, they want us to come in here, and if you're a good person, you will help them. They have to deal with a Baldur, which is essentially a Balrog that they accidentally dug up, who's going to kill them all. And
Sounds
so if
like not my problem.
Exactly. Speedrun does not care about this. So we are going to, instead of helping them in exchange getting this gem that would let us progress, we are literally just going to steal the gem out of his pockets, make ourselves invisible again, so it's like we were never there. And with that gem, we are now able to enter the dark cave over here. This will be essential to us progressing. So we run past, da-da-da, it's like we were never here, running. Yeah, there's so much cool stuff down here. Like if you're into RPGs, this whole area is some of the coolest stuff. And what's gonna happen is, we got lucky there. Sometimes like a drow, a dark elf war party teleports in.
Oh, yes.
But they did not this time because they took mercy on us. So there's a giant silver dragon here, and she actually hates us because we didn't help those deep gnomes.
Yeah.
So like she's like, hold your tongue. My interest doesn't imply approval. You're an awful person. You tricked them. You did all sorts of stuff. They're gonna die because of you. but I still need your help, so we're just gonna keep going. So basically what happened to her is the drow stole her eggs, and in exchange, basically stealing the eggs, taking them hostage so she can't stop them from doing evil drow things.
Yeah.
So what she will do is she will give us a disguise so we look like drow, so we can go into the drow city, and when you do so, you basically get involved in a massive, huge, ridiculously complicated web of conspiracies and people betraying and backstabbing each other. But she made a fatal flaw in her plan.
We're not returning the eggs, are we?
We're not returning the eggs.
I had a feeling.
We, in fact, will not even get the eggs.
Okay.
Because we saw into the future, we know exactly where we need to go. And because we look like drow now, we'll actually be able to get past a checkpoint of drow to let us leave. So the entire chapter, which is all about that drow city, all about getting those eggs, we will do none of it. Okay. We saw into the future again, just to get a little planning here. So this can actually be dangerous up here. Sometimes there's a group of Kuatoa, kind of like little fishy people who can actually see you when you're invisible, and they're hyper-aggressive. So we're going to see if we got a good roll on this. Oh, hell yeah. Okay, they can chase us, and it's actually a huge problem. They're luckily not there. So we talk to this drow, and we're just like, hey, maybe I could bribe you somewhat. And he's like, hey, I mean, you can't bribe me, that's not ridiculous. That's ridiculous. I'm like, what if it's a donation to your house? He's like, you know what, that's a good point. Here's 1,000 gold, I'll let you through. So we bribe our way out. We are now on our way out of the Underdark. We go invisible one more time. So some elves, surface elves, are fighting some dark elves over here, and there's a bunch of spiders, and it's just pure chaos. Absolute pure chaos. But we are not gonna get ourselves mixed up in any of that, because speedrun does not have time for it, or want to pay attention to it either.
Yeah.
That's the whole chapter. So normally that chapter, I probably spent like 10 hours playing it.
Yeah.
That was probably about 4 or 5 minutes. That's the whole thing. We never go back. So now we get accosted by some elves, and the elves want to talk to us about a lot of things. They just do not stop talking. So we're gonna one them. We're just gonna one them all the way through. Oh, hey Dark. Hey, good to see you. And Daz on stream. I'm real. So we just literally yes, everything, every single thing they say.
Yes. Yes.
Everything.
Yes.
We agree to everything they say. We want. It's way easier that way. And basically, they give us the quest to go kill that vampire we were working with earlier who betrayed us. So we leave. She's still back in the graveyard where she always was, so we'll head towards there. Oh no, we've been waylaid by enemies, and we must defend ourselves. But the enemies are a little different. If you read any D&D books, you may have read some books with this character called Drist, or Drizzt, or however you want to say his name exactly.
I say it Drizzt, which is the incorrect way of saying it, but that's how I say it.
It's a more fun way of saying it, so Drizzt.
It's literally not his name, but that's what I say.
So we basically just sort of play along. We'll be his friend. He actually appears in Baldur's Gate 1, and you can kind of have a choice here based on how you want to play your character, saying like, oh, I don't know you, or, oh, hey, I killed you in the first game, what are you doing here? Or you can say you were friends. We want to say we were friends. We worked together before. I haven't seen his missing axe. We met only briefly, we fought some gnolls together. I have a proposal for you. There's this vampire you need to kill. Do you think you might be able to help me? And Drist, he's such a hero, he says yes. So we're going to have Drist's aid in fighting the vampire. We got there without getting accosted, which is really nice. We cover ourselves in oil, as we always do. The vampire does a little taunting, but that's okay. There's some chaotic vampire fights going on, and we don't want anything to do with that. So we cross into the crypt, we go back, and we're gonna go kill our old boss. We need to make sure we aggro some vampires here, because all the vampires have to die. Run through. This is really bad for us. They would totally kill us because we're not actually very strong. But luckily, Drist is incredibly powerful. He's wildly overpowered, and we can cast something called Improved Haste on him, which gives him bonus to initiative and makes him attack much more often. So he gets even more powerful.
Nice.
So we will give him Improved Haste. He is now going to essentially solo everything in this entire crypt.
I can't fight these people, but my older brother can.
Exactly. We hand him the controller and let him handle it for us. So he's literally just going to wipe the floor. We don't need to do anything. Just absolutely annihilate everybody. If you read the books, you'll recognize a lot of these characters. Guinevere, his panther friend. There's Bruno, Battlehammer, whatever the hell his name is. Wolfgar, Cadibri, all sorts of cool people. Come on, you. Get back to murdering. He's a little tired, I guess. Are you guys gonna fight? Come on, you. Oh no. Okay.
To battle.
He may have gone a little stuck.
Onward then. To battle.
I may. Oh god, I actually have to fight. Okay.
Battle with no.
Come on, you. Oh god. Riveting combat. Okay.
There we go.
Alright, we're good now. He got a little blocked there. So we're gonna go down, we're hunting down our boss. He loses the buff in between the zones, so we have to face him again. We're gonna stone skin ourselves just in case anything actually looks at us. And we're gonna go in here. So before we left, the elves gave us some holy water to hurt the vampires. So the vampires, come on you. The vampires water that actually stuns her and does some damage to her. And then we're just gonna kind of watch as Drist just murders everything. Just absolutely everything. She actually takes a little bit to die, so we're gonna help out here.
Was he created by R. Salvatore, or was he a D&D character?
I believe he was created by R.A. Salvatore. So like he had a chance to basically make a D&D character, and he did it. So he's been featured in like 50 trillion different books.
Just the real main character.
Exactly. We're just here to help him.
Yeah.
So we have to wait a little second for her to get back into her crypt. Then the elves gave us some wooden stakes, so we stake her. She is now dead. And she had a thing called the Rin Landthorn, which is basically a special thing that lets the elves get back into their home city, which was blocked off from them by the evil wizard who is the villain of the game. So we have what we need now, so we can leave. Continue leaving, and we go all the way back to those elves. So, as I've mentioned maybe a little bit before, this game is gargantuan. Like, this run covers very, very little of the game, essentially just the minimum things we need to do. If you have a full map, like, there's a bunch of different locations, tons of different adventures you can get mixed up in. There's super hardcore challenge areas where you have to fight, massive demons, like demon lords, all sorts of really cool things. Again, we are seeing none of it. So we travel back to the internet exit. We get waylaid by some people who want to talk to us, but we cannot have that. So we head back to the elves. We tell them we got the Landthorn, we're good to go. The vampire is dead. Let's go back to your city that the evil wizard has taken over.
All has been relatively quiet.
Average completion time for non-speedrunners. I think if you look up how long to beat, it's usually like 40 to 50 hours. Mine was about 50 hours. So our goal is to do it in about an hour and a half, roughly. So we cut down the completion time a little bit. So let's see, we gain control of our character, we want to do some leveling. So we have no more to pin stats, we can memorize some additional mage spells. So we're going to memorize an additional cast of invisibility, we're going to memorize another skull trap. Another thing of stone skin, and we're going to memorize lower resistance, which will be very important later. We take a nap. We're going to have some very strange prophetic dreams.
Okay, so the how long to beat for main story is 47 hours. Would you like to guess the completionist
I can show you all of this because I am
100.
140 hours.
140.
On average.
I am
So if you want to do everything in this game, there is more game than you could possibly imagine. It's like the definitive D&D adventure game. So we are good to go. We memorized all the spells we need. We have the stuff we need. So we have the vampire's heart earlier. We're just gonna leave that lying on the ground. We don't need stakes anymore. We don't need the holy water. We don't need the gem that we. Also, when we stole the gem from the people, when you leave the dragon's place, you actually see in the combat log that all of them get murdered by the Baldur you did not help them save. It literally pops up and says they all died. So we are a little responsible for some bad stuff, but that's okay. It's all in the name of the speedrun.
By the way, you're a terrible person and you should feel that.
And we're going to actually face some consequences for that later. We'll find out. So we're in Chapter 7. So the Elven City is being besieged, and we basically need to complete a complicated puzzle to unlock our way to where the evil wizard is, because the elves of course, use puzzle-based walks in their entire city.
Yes.
It's a very elfin way to do things. So a key thing here is we need a quick save, we need to get invisible, we need to cover ourselves in some nice glistening oil so we're fast, and we need to start collecting some of those items. If you meant a 100% speed run, so the world record, I think, is about 45 minutes, so I'm shooting for, roughly double that.
Yeah.
So we need to solve a little puzzle here and hit some buttons in a certain order. I believe they are Corellin, Rilliphane, Water, and Tree. So we got the Talisman of Rilliphane, so we have that, we're good to go, we're still invisible, so we keep running. We're going to see a lot of people die and they ask for our help. We are not going to help any of them. Because speedrun stops for no man or elf. We keep going past all these golems doing awful things to people. That's terrible. I feel really sad for them. And so what we're going to do here now is strip naked. We have to take off every single thing we have, because if we don't, someone's going to jack it from us. So we take off our robe here, we take off our sword, we take off our potions, throw them all out there. We need the spell scroll later, we can throw that out. We're actually okay if they steal the wand. We don't need it anymore. Actually, we'll keep it for sentimental value. And he won't steal this quest item, so we're good to go. We now have nothing on us. And there's a black dragon.
Okay.
So he's incredibly powerful and will absolutely destroy us.
Yes.
Luckily, he's also incredibly greedy.
Excellent.
So we actually will say to him, hey, we actually have no problem with you. We just need that goblet you're guarding.
Yeah.
So he's like, whatever he's paying you, we'll just pay you more.
Yeah.
And he wants in exchange everything we own. Every single thing we own,
Nice.
all of our gold.
Okay.
You need at least 30,000 gold to be able to bribe him. So we have enough money left over. I think we had like 45k or so. So he takes everything we have. Yeah, he took all of about 50k of our gold. We have nothing now except for quest items. Luckily, he's also not very observant and didn't notice.
Legally blind.
We dropped all of our stuff on the floor, so we still have everything that's important. So we grab our oil back, we do a little bit of inventory management, get our sword, get that talisman, get our boots of speed, get our ring of protection, we get our girdle of giant strength, we get our little spell signature scroll, which could be important. We'll have the wand there just in case. And then we should be good to go. Yes. Okay, so we have two of the things we need. We actually need to be invisible. It'd be very bad if things see me, because people will try to talk to me. So we go through here, we enter here, da-da-da. There's just on a bench over here, there's a stone harp. That seems important. We're visible again, so we want to be invisible. We keep running around. In this house here, there's another item we need called the Moonblade. There's a guy who wields the Moonblade, and we have to watch him talk. We have no choice but to watch him sacrifice his life heroically, so I hope everybody really appreciates what this elf does for us in slaying this demon. He's in the process of attempting to die. Grant me death and victory, Rilliphane. He does that, he explodes, and they're both dead. Okay, so we take his Moonblade, which he was guarding, and we leave. We thank him for his heroic sacrifice. So next we need to go turn some of these items in. So the town is besieged, they are screwed, like the evil wizard is winning. So the way we stop him is we go to this little altar, we deposit some of these items. We give him the Talisman of Rilliphane, the Golden Goblet of Life, and the Moonblade. And in doing so, we summon... these guys will actually try to kill us. They are very dangerous. We should drink an invisibility potion just in case. We summon the avatar of the god Rilliphane. He speaks exclusively in capital letters. Once we talk to him, only in capital letters. He is a shouter. And what he will do... Oh my god, he almost killed us. Okay. The golem almost killed us there, but the Rilliphane will actually slaughter every single enemy for us to keep us safe. Yo, chemist, hey! So, the Leaf Lord Rilliphane will murder everybody for us. Then we watch a little cutscene as he murders people outside as well. He summons some elf ghosts who do magical elf ghost things and kill all the demons.
Yeah.
Yo, chemist with the reset. So everyone's, oh my god, the god didn't kill everybody for us. We're actually in tremendous danger. So let's level up first. Get some set traps. Put a point into something random like crossbows. And then we need to get the hell out of here before that guy kills us. Okay, good. That was actually very dangerous if he was near us, but he was not, so we were safe. We need to next run over here. Everybody will start dying, so we're not actually in too much danger anymore. There's one last thing we need.
Just as I thought.
We run over here, we get the stone horn. This elf will say he cannot believe this is happening. Oh hey, we got it on time. He didn't talk to us. Antisocialness wins again. So we have a stone harp and a stone horn, which will be important to get through to the last place we need to go. We walk through, we go up to this tree, and we just start shaking it. We just shake it violently, over and over and over again, until a bunch of nuts fall to the ground.
Really like your peaches wanna shake your tree.
So we have a bunch of nuts now, which we need those nuts.
Nut percent.
We also want to take a nap because we were pretty heavily damaged, so we will take a nap. We slept for 12 days and 8 hours.
That's a good nut.
While the city is actively besieged by an evil wizard who's attempting to drain the power from the Tree of Life and become a god. We slept for 12 days.
Look, you need to rest.
But speedrun needs his rest. It's just the way it goes. So we cover ourselves in oil again, as we traditionally do every morning. We go up to these, we place the stone harp and the stone horn in these statues. The statues come to life, and of course, as you might expect, open a hidden staircase in that fountain. Yeah. As this is completely irrational, rational thing to happen. Yeah. So we now have a hidden staircase. We're good to go to run through to the final boss. When we try to do this, there's actually a little bit where if you had party members, you'd stop and talk to them. You'd be like, "Oh, hey guys, we're going in. This is the final thing. There's no going back. This is dangerous." But we're alone, so we just kind of comment to ourselves the fact we're alone, and we go in there. Luckily, nobody's here with us. So we're riding solo. The elf queen is like, who comes there? And we tell her it's us, speedrun. And she's like, please help, the Tree of Life is being drained, everything awful is happening. So the way it's being drained is, the evil wizard has summoned some giant, weird looking parasites who are actively sucking out the life from the tree. So what we do is we have to kill each one, but when we kill them, they have guardians. They have things to protect them. So we are going to summon some skull traps ahead of time.
So they have suck police.
Yes, to stop the suck police. They will arrive, they will get killed instantly, and we will kill the parasite. We now need to be able to have that spell cast again, so we're going to do a little running here. Run up. So some of the nuts we got turned into tree branches we can run on. Oh, hey, Pan! And then we do that. There's the evil wizard doing evil wizard things there, but that's okay. We run past him, we do that, we chill by this parasite. We take a nap. We have another strange prophetic dream. It really, don't pay attention to prophecies. They aren't real. We cover ourselves in oil. We throw down some skull traps. Get 5 of those set up. We attack the parasite. Those guys die instantly again, and we kill the parasite. So there's one more parasite to go. These guys are actually they're all sort of different kinds of elementals, and these ones are some earth elementals, and they would kill us. They are very powerful. So we're gonna have to do a little bit of extra prep for them. But first we have to wait here for a couple rounds to pass. There we go. Then we will start setting up some traps. Our guy says aha a lot because he's a genius. He knows exactly what he's doing with his 3 wisdom. Oh, that's not good. We almost turned into the Slayer there.
I mean, he's just saying aha because everything is fascinating to him.
Yes,
right? Like
literally everything. So we wait for this to pass a bit, set some more traps, doing things the speedrun way, set one more trap, and we should be good to go here. So we actually, before we do that, let's stone skin ourselves so we don't get one shot by the golems, sorry, the earth elementals. Takes a second. Alright, trigger them. They're dead instantly, we got some good rolls, and we kill the parasite. So now, we have to fight the evil wizard. The evil wizard is an incredibly powerful mage. He would 100% wipe the floor with us. We would stand no chance fighting this man. He has all contingency spells set up. He creates a simulacrum so he can multiple versions of himself fighting us at the same time. He puts on every buff in the world. He has very powerful spells. We actually would not stand a chance fighting this man. So what we do, instead of fighting him, is we get control of our character, and we run away. And then we take a nap.
Just go to bed.
And we go to bed for 8 hours.
Yeah.
And all of his buffs go away, because we literally just waited 8 hours for him to leave. And so from off screen, we will start shooting some skull traps at him. He has no more buffs, so he is, in the end of the day, just a mage, so he's actually pretty squishy with all his buffs. So we do this a few times until he is dead. He didn't die, so we're gonna have to do a little...
I think this is probably why, literally, you cannot rest with enemies nearby was invented.
Yes.
This speedrun.
Good. We had to take a little nap in the middle of the combat because we ran out of spell casts. That is fine, he dies. So now we are facing the consequences of our actions. As you notice, we started neutral good, we are not so good. With some of the things we did, we killed a lot of people, we stole a lot of things. So we end up in hell. This is where we are where we belong. We are not good people, and we are in hell with our mage friend. He pulls us down there with us. There's screaming souls, awful, all sorts of things going on. And in hell, we basically will have to pass a certain number of tests. Each of those tests basically test our character, who we are. The first one tests our character of, because of the way we do it, it tests our patience. We are going to be fighting a villain from the first game, a really cool villain. He's a cool dude. He's also very angry. And the way we're going to fight him is we're going to set up a tremendous number of traps. This requires the most preparation in the game, so we start setting some traps, and we start setting some skull traps. So in total, we're going to need to set 7 snares and 30 skull traps to be able to kill them.
Holy shit.
If we walk near that, that murders us, so it's a good thing I didn't walk near that. We're going to take another rest. So we're going to be sleeping a lot. Okay, so 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Do some more sleeping. And get some more skull traps. So
Is
this will...
putting the skulls down, is that like a spell?
Yeah,
Do we have
so
to
it's...
rest?
Exactly, so it's a spell called Skull Trap.
Okay.
We have 5 casts of them per rest, essentially.
Okay.
And so we are at 15, 16... I'm gonna get all the way to 30. So that's 20. And we can sadly only set a limit of 7 snares, that's why we stopped with those. So that's good, so that should be 25. Get us to 30. For safety strats, we're gonna go to 35, why not? So if we were to go near this, this would murder us instantly. It does a tremendous amount of damage, so we actually have to be a little careful with how we do it. We're gonna cover ourselves in oil, as we did, because we woke up from a nap. And then we're going to hit this man with lower resistance, a spell we learned quite some time ago.
So we meet again.
So we talk through his stuff, he says some stuff, he tries to tempt us into evil, we're gonna say no to it. Hit him, oh god. Okay, we actually need to run. I forgot to put Stone Skin on, so we're actually in a little bit of danger, so we're gonna hopefully Stone Skin before he kills us. Okay, cast in time, we did not die. So we get away here. Oh, hey, quick.
BL.
This time I'm the streamer. You're in shit. So we do lower resistance here, doing things the speedrun way. Run around. Oh god, he's trying to kill us. Okay, enough time has passed. We can probably lower resistance him again. Alright, so he's now sufficiently low in resistance, so we're going to lure him through our traps. That's going to do a crazy amount of damage to him, and hopefully he should die from the poison. Okay, he's dead, cool. So what we're doing is we're passing all these trials to get a tier of ball, essentially some eye drops to try to calm some really irritated eyes down. That will let us do some murder. So we go through here, do this, we run down, and let's go for the next trial. So this is that was the trial of wrath. This is the trial of greed. So basically, we get given an incredibly powerful weapon called Black Razor +3. It's a very, very powerful sword, and so it's basically testing how greedy are we. Are we willing to hold on to the sword, or are we willing to talk to this enslaved genie and just say, "Hey, if we ask him the right questions, we get him to admit, oh, we could actually pass the test if we just give him the sword instead of killing him. So we're actually gonna be nice. We're gonna give him the sword because it's faster than actually fighting him." So he should give us a tier of ball in a second. We have both of them, yes. So we passed the second trial.
So we're just passing our entrance exams to get out of hell.
Yes,
Okay.
that is how you flee from our own personal hell. Wavy, hey.
Yo, Percy.
Hey Percy, how you doing? So the next trial is the trial of selfishness. So we're gonna basically see. So basically, what he does is he summons an innocent from the prime material plane, a peasant, literally a peasant, and he's like, "What are we doing here?" So we basically have a choice. If we take this path, they harm the peasant. If we take this path, it harms us, and we lose some of our stats. Harming the peasant takes longer because we have to hear him say, oh God, why is this happening to us every time?" So we're actually gonna do the selfless thing, and we lost 2 of our maximum hit points. We lost a dexterity point. And we lost some experience points, which sucks, but it doesn't matter because it's nearly the end of the game. So we passed the test, we got the 3rd tier of ball. Oh god, we almost ran back down there again. Okay, for the next test, it's the test of fear, or courage, I guess, technically. So basically, this person tries to really talk up the enemies in here and say, "Hey, I offer you this cloak, it's made out of the skin of some nymphs. It's really messed up, but it'll protect you." And we're like, "Nah, we don't need that stuff." So what we're gonna do is we're gonna go invisible, and then run past all of these crazy-ass beholders who could, like, do bad stuff to us. We got the tier of ball already, so we're gonna run out of here, and before all the spells hit us, so we're good to go. And then one last trial. It's the trial of pride. So what happens here basically is this demon really tries to talk us up. He's like, "You are the coolest individual to ever exist. You can kill anything. You're amazing. You should fight this really crazy monster that's right past you. You're gonna kill him. Don't worry." And we're like, "Wait, what is the monster? Like, it's powerful, but what is it? Why should we kill it?" And we're just like, we don't kill things just because they're in our way, which is a complete lie. 100% lie. We kill everything we can. But we'll lie and say, "Hey, let's not kill him." He does sound like Dagoth, actually. I wonder if it's the same voice actor.
I see that despite your great deeds,
Yeah, he does a lot, actually.
no pride.
So we go past him. The enemy was a dragon.
Oh.
So we would have had to fight him if we got talked into it, if we didn't, like, talk our way out of it. But because we were nice and we talked out of it, he just gives us the tier.
Did the
so we're
dragon
good to
just
go.
explode?
Yes. But it was a nice explosion, I guess.
Okay.
Consensual explosion, whatever you want to call it. So we now have all 5 tiers of ball, and these are the eyes that we need to lubricate so they feel better.
Fuck yeah.
But first, what we're going to do is we're going to set up some traps again. So we're about to fight the final boss in the game. So what we need to do is we set up some traps. You might be able to see where this is going. Set up some more, take another nap. We're good to go. We set up all 7. We'll cover ourselves in oil, because that's just what we do. Actually, quick save, quick load, cover ourselves in oil.
Gotta lubricate the satanic hell balls.
Exactly. So we will cast, once the round passes, yep, we will start casting some skull traps. And now we're going to use this scroll we got way back near the beginning of the game. What this scroll does is it's called Spell Sequencer. And you basically can set up some spells, and so you can cast multiple of them kind of instantly. So we're going to set up 3 sets of Magic Missile. Will give us a special ability that lets us just instantly cast 3 Magic Missile spells really fast.
Okay.
So now we are safe there, so we're going to Stone Skin ourselves. Good, Stone Skin, and let's do it. So we start lubricating the eyes. We give them their eye drops, and this actually starts giving you some really good stat buffs that we won't really need. But some really cool stuff, like +2 to all your saving throws, grant resistance to fire, cold, electricity. You become more... Oh, you got some of our wisdom back.
Hell yeah.
We're now at 3 wisdom again, everybody.
Let's go.
So the villain appears dramatically. All our traps go off and hit him before he gets any buffs. So he's severely damaged right now. So hopefully we got some good dice rolls, and he should be pretty dead. He will summon some very powerful demons to fight us, and he'll take on the form of the Slayer. So this would be a huge pitched epic battle. But instead, we're going to cast our magic missiles we had set up, get a ridiculous amount of damage going, and hopefully in a second, he should die from the poison damage. Oh no!
Quick magic missile on the way out.
Yeah, I think we got some bad rolls. We'll see how it goes. Oh, we got some tension. Okay, so actually no, because he already cast Light. We have to sadly save Scum.
Okay.
So we need to get some better rolls in there.
Pray to RN Jesus.
Yes. Hope the dice are in our favor. So we get to watch this whole delightful cutscene again. He gets summoned in. Traps go off. He takes some poison damage.
One last.
Alright, so let's see if we can get him before he gets his buffs up. Okay, that was some good stuff. And once he says, "Curse you, speedrun, I shall not be defeated by you," he is defeated by us, and that is the end of the run.
Hell yeah.
That is the whole thing. So what did we come out to? About an hour 45, which is approximately approximately the target. And that's Baldur's Gate 2, with as little of the game shown to you as humanly possible. So yeah, this is one of my absolute favorite games. It's probably the closest you can ever get to having D&D literally turned into a video game form. We have our classic Star Wars cutscene where they give us a medal and congratulate us on winning. And yeah, that's the whole thing. That's the game. So we can exit out of here in a little bit. Alt-tab, close it out.
Noggle, thank you for the 28-month resub.
Awesome.
Let's go.
Oh god. We got abducted by the game, we quit out of there, and that is the whole thing.
Hell yeah. Alright,
Awesome.
well, thank you very much, Daz, for showing off that run. That was sweet. Chat, we're going to flip it to a quick break screen.